You're listening to 101 with Tommie Zam. On the 56th episode, we sit down with Rachael Alexandra talking about her life. Let's do this. What's up, Rachael, aka Backbone? How you doing?
What's up, Tommie? I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good. I'm just finished up this tequila shot I had. What about you?
Hey, same.
Oh yeah, what's your tequila shot or drink to go to?
I've been on the 818 recently.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh,
That's a good one. That's a little bit Gucci, man. I deal with the Jose. Me and Jose, we kick it for a little bit, you know.
yeah, it's the homie.
Yeah, that's the homie, dude. I mean, I got to do the brown. The white, white's okay, but the brown Jose, me and him are tight, you know.
I feel you.
Well, cool. Well, I'm excited to sit down with you, man, and talk about your life. I mean, you have a very interesting life, but people don't understand. Like this girl right here has amazing life. Like she just does her, and she's amazing, dude. And I'm excited to sit down with you.
Hey, I appreciate it. Just out here doing my best.
I hear you. So, just to let the viewers know who you are, just tell us a small little, like, quick bio about yourself.
So, Rachael Alexandra, aka Backbone, I was born and raised in St. Pete, Florida. I feel like I'm an LA girl at heart. I did live out there for a few years and came back here just to visit and ended up staying because I got the whole fam here. Ended up starting my business here. Do a little bit of everything from the beauty industry, just tapped into the OF OnlyFans world. So yeah, just doing a little bit of everything recently.
Hey, that sounds like a great life you had, you know?
It's pretty sweet.
And so you grew up born and raised in St. Pete, you said. Was it, you know, what was it like growing up in St. Pete at the time?
So at the time, it was pretty low key, pretty chill. It was still a little secret gem. Had like a core group of just like amazing people. A lot of them actually, we have mutual friends, which I didn't realize until I watched your documentary before hopping on here. And funny enough, I used to actually go to your skate shop for like the skate like movie nights. And so watching your documentary, it was like a blast from the past, seeing people like that I literally hadn't seen since like back in the day. So yeah, St. Pete was like just a low key gem. And when I got back from LA, I realized it was really starting to take off. And that's when I wanted to just like tap in and kind of grow with the city. And it has not stopped since then. It's like forever expanding everything from the music scene, the art, the food, just everything. And it's just, yeah, the secret is out.
Yeah, definitely. Hold up. You went to my skate shop in St. Pete?
I sure did. I grew up literally like my home, like my childhood home was like 3 blocks away from the
Really? Where at?
right off like Burlington and
Really?
63rd. Yeah, literally right down the street.
Oh my god, and you used to come to movie a skateboard night or a skateboard video night and stuff like that?
I sure did.
No way, who'd you roll with?
I knew like JC, um, that was like the main homie and like a couple girlfriends I would just like show up with. But yeah, I literally was recognizing people that I go as far back as like elementary school, like Russell Brand, I believe is his name.
Oh, you hung out with Russell? Russell was a G, man.
Mhm. Can't think of his name right now. Jake. He always had like the big afro.
Afro?
Yeah.
Jake, dude, oh my god, I remember Jake. I love Jake, dude, that dude was so funny.
For real. Yeah, there's so many that I was like, damn. It's like a walk
Holy shit.
for real.
Damn, I'm trying to remember you back in the day.
I have to try to find some of my like skater girl era photos.
I was trying to remember that. And Did you go to the same school? Like, that what's that school, the high school back there?
Bogey.
Oh, you did go to Bogey?
Yeah, just for a couple years, and then I ended up going to Osceola.
Okay. And what was it like like, going to elementary school in St. Pete, Florida? I mean, was it different? Was it, like, pretty cool or what?
I mean, I enjoyed it. It was always very, like, eclectic. You had just, like, a little bit of everybody, and just seemed like, I don't know, everyone just kind of, like, vibed with each other. I was never really in just, like, one group of people, like, throughout the years. I always just was, like, kept it diverse, was friends with a little bit of everybody, so that was cool. It's just, yeah, very eclectic.
Dude, that's rad, dude. I mean, it throws me off when you said you went to my shop, man. I mean, I was like, "Holy shit, dude." I'm trying
Yeah,
to
but it was
yeah,
worth
that
watching it.
shop was dope, dude, like, definitely was, man. It was definitely like I built it. I mean, I built a business to where gives the kids somewhere they can go to and hang out and enjoy skateboarding or not even if you didn't skate, you came there, and I remember those people that didn't skate would come there and hang out just because it was just a cool spot to chill, you know?
No, for sure. I remember it having just, like, this certain vibe to it. It was just, like, very, like, family, just, like, homies, super, like, just good vibes. Yeah, it was definitely a staple of the city.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then it took a dump just because of, like, 2008 when the comedy hit and like, people were losing their jobs and stuff like that, and it was just really hard, and then I decided to, like, "You know what? That's when before downtown became what it was, but downtown was supposed to be where it is when I moved downtown with the shop, and it never happened till, like, 4 years later, you know?
right. Yeah, I remember, like, when you collabed with Star Booty, and now that whole 600 block is, like, so completely different. It's wild.
Yeah, it's not even a punk rock area. It used to be.
I know, that was such a vibe, but,
Uh
yeah, it was wild to make that connection.
No, it definitely was. And so growing up in St. Pete and then your parents picked up and moved to LA, or you decided, you know what, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go live in LA or come to California.
So, my mom took me out there when I was, like, 16, and I fell in love with it. I was like, "I am moving out here when I'm 18," so that's exactly what I did. I was dating somebody at the time, you might know him, he lives out there still. He's, like, a professional, like, street bike rider. But we ended up getting this, like, dope warehouse, 1228 Flower Street is, like, right across the street from the Staples Center,
Hmm.
and I just lived with, like, a collective of really just, like, inspiring individuals. So, yeah, my boyfriend at the time was the street rider, I was a hairstylist at the time.
What?
Yes, and then we had, like, a photographer, videographer, cut and sew artist all living, like, in this one warehouse, so it was a really cool, just inspiring group of people. So, yeah, I lived out there for a couple years. I thought I was gonna live out there forever. Definitely had my heart, but it was a great experience.
Oh yeah, definitely. California is a whole different experience, especially coming from Florida to California. I mean, because they say like you know, Florida is like back goes it's like California but backwards. And California's more like Florida but more advanced.
Right, for sure. Like, St. Pete, Tampa, like, Miami is definitely all, like, coming up, but LA is just, like, they've been on that, so it was really cool to, like, just immerse into that.
That's awesome. And did you go to school for hair out in St. Pete, or did you go for school out in LA for hair?
Yeah, so I went in St. Pete, which you only need a certain amount of hours in Florida, but when I decided I was gonna move to LA, you have to get, like, extra hours to qualify in California, so I ended up doing that here in St. Pete, and then took off there, and yeah, I was a hairstylist for, like, 5 years, and then when I came back to St. Pete, that's when I saw how big, like, the lash industry
Hmm.
was, so yeah, now I focus on lash extensions and just started doing permanent makeup, so diving into that world.
And did you go to Aveda in St. Pete?
It's actually called Lorraine's Academy. It was more
Okay.
of, yeah, like privately owned.
Okay. You didn't want to do a Veda, huh?
No, they were really strict on like, because I was traveling a lot and my school was like pretty relaxed. If you like took a month off, you just like jump back in wherever you left off. With Aveda, they like were not about that. So the jet setter and me had to go with the reins.
Hey, and you do travel, so tell me about these travels. Like, how do you manage to do all these travels? I mean, you're such a busy person.
You know, that's the beauty of like running your own business and just kind of like curating like the times around it. I am a mom of two, but we work out like a 1 week on, 1 week off schedule. So I'm able to just work around my business and my babies and just make it happen.
Yeah, and own your own business. Like, what made you start your own business?
So when I first dove into the lash world, I started at Lash Addict Studio, started building up a clientele there, and I had just had my firstborn, my son Grayson,
Mhm.
and
Congratulations.
thank you. And then a couple years later, I was about to have my girl Remy. So I went on maternity leave, and during that time, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like take the leap of faith and start my own thing. So after I had her, a few months later, I just went for it, started my business, and just was really fortunate that it organically grew and just took off.
And
And I never looked back.
and you say your daughter's name is Remy?
Yeah, Remy Moon.
I like that, dude. That's a really cool name. That's actually a model name or an actress name right there.
Yeah, yeah, she's amazing. She's my little fashionista, so I could see that.
Oh, you can't? She copies what everything what you do?
Oh yeah, she takes out my shoes and does her makeup. She's only 4 years old and she's like going on 14. She's something else.
Dude, that's so funny, dude. And how'd you I don't mean to talk about much about your kids, but how'd you come up with the names for your kids?
So with Grayson, I had actually met this kid named Grayson like 10 years ago plus, and I was like, damn, that is, I had never heard that name before. I was like, that is a badass name. I'm going to name my son that one day. So when I found out I was having a boy, I was like, yo, I already have the name. So we just went with that. And then with Remy, I actually had a list of like 10 different names, and I just gave the list to her dad. I was like, you pick one. And that's one we went with.
What was on the list? What was the 10 names? Do you remember?
Oh, what were the other ones? Mm, I believe like Sasha was one,
I like Sasha.
right? That was actually supposed to be one of my names also. So yeah, Sasha was definitely one. I believe like Rain was
What's
a
that, Rain?
Rain, yes. That
Hmm,
was
that's
another,
different.
right? I was definitely trying to go for something different. And yeah, I can't think of the other ones right now, but Remy it is.
Yeah, I like that. Sasha would've been a good name too. That's
Right.
definitely
I love that name.
I do too. So if you ever have another one, would you call it Sasha?
Oh, there's gonna be no more.
You're like, "No more?" You're like, "Done? No more kids?" You're not gonna be like, "Alright, I'm gonna bust out like 50 kids of mine," you know? They're gonna be the Alexandra kids.
No, sir. I always, honestly, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted 2 kids, a boy and then a girl, 2 years apart, and that's exactly what I got. So,
Wow, that's crazy to think that, like, that you planted that, right? Like, when you were, like, 16, did you plan that? Like, "I'm gonna have 2 kids, and that's it?"
oh yeah, probably even younger, like literally, like since I like can remember. That's always what I wanted.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. Like me, honestly, I have no kids. I've been married twice, divorced twice, and somehow escaped from having kids, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, but divorces weren't on me. They both women cheated on me, and it was just like, "Yo, I'm done.
Um,
I'm out of here. I don't. You can keep the house, you can keep the money. I just want my bag of clothes, and I'm out of here." And but
right.
that's what I said to both wives.
Damn, that's wild. Yeah, cheating's no fun. I've been there.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
Mhm.
That sucks. But that's cool. And so does a dad actually live in St. Pete, or does he live somewhere else, or
Yeah, he lives pretty close by, and we keep it pretty peaceful and just have, like, a verbal agreement, and it works.
how'd y'all meet him? How'd y'all meet? It's all right if I ask.
So when I came back from Cali, I thought I was just gonna be visiting. Like I said earlier, I thought I was gonna go back to Cali, and I decided I was gonna stay for like the summer. So I was like, you know what? I'll get like a little side hustle. I'll do some hair on the side, but just want some like spending money. So I got a hostessing job at Cassis on Beach Drive.
I know Cassis.
Yeah.
Hold on. What year did you get a job there?
What year would this have been? This was about 10 years ago. So this was like 2013.
Oh, dude, you might have seen me walk past you guys past there so many times 'cause I lived on Beach Drive,
Probably. Hey, okay.
and I used to, I always walked with my big old English Mastiff Brindle, and we always walked past it, sometimes without a leash and sometimes on a leash.
I feel like I definitely saw that. I definitely saw you guys.
Because we used to hang at Tris all the time,
Okay. Yeah, and
and
I lived, like, right like, my house I had to pass Tris to, like, walk from my, like, downtown studio to go from there to Cassis.
yeah, and then there was a guy there, he was, Indian, I can't remember his name that worked at Cassis, he was funny. Um, I
Mm.
think it was Indian or Palestinian, or I don't know what he was, but he was a funny guy.
Was he a little bit older?
He had, like, long black hair, and he was always about partying and this stuff, going on, like, festivals and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I can't think of his name right now.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
For sure. Yeah, Cassis was the spot for a while.
Yeah, Cassis was dope, dude. I remember that spot, man.
Right?
That was a good time. Wow, you bring back memories, dude. 'Cause we
Yeah.
used to me and my dog, Elwood, that was his name, we used to hang on the
Oh my gosh.
we used to hang we used to hang on the tryst, and then he was the only dog allowed on the couches, so he was always sitting on the couches and stuff.
So cute. I feel like I definitely remember him.
Yeah, you can I'll send you a picture and you'll be like, "Oh, I remember you guys now." Small world, right?
Really.
I mean, what people don't understand, I'm gonna explain to people that, like, St. Pete is what she says, a hidden gem. It used to be, now it's just it's trying to it's being like Miami, basically, you know?
Honestly.
But before it got blown up with all these condos and everything, it was, you can go there and listen to good music, live music and art and, everything. It was just like to me, I compare St. Pete to San Diego. It's like a small version of San Diego.
I literally say the same thing, and if I were to move back to Cali, it would be San Diego for sure.
Oh yeah. And it's just like that, but now it's just not this. I mean, I went back there during COVID and I had a homie that and his wife and kid, I'm not saying the name, but they were kind of like leaving California and didn't know where to go. They were gonna go to Pensacola, where I actually grew up at. We both grew up at. And I was like, yo, dude, I'm going to St. Pete. My homegirl had her mom bought a house in the ghetto. And
Mm,
she wanted me to stay there for a little bit, and I was gonna stay there for a little bit and then go take care of my mom, then head back to California. And I was like, won't you guys come with me? But I was like, dude, you'll love St. Pete. St. Pete's just like San Diego. It'll help out your skateboarding. Your wife and kid will love it. The beaches are beautiful. And they came with me, and now they're still in St. Pete.
I love that. No, seriously, the city is it's special, and I feel really fortunate to have been, like, a part of it.
Yeah. And I would move anywhere in Florida. I mean, people ask if I ever move back to Florida. I said, if I move back, I mean, I'll stay in St. Pete, because it's such a beautiful city.
For sure. I feel like St. Pete needs another, finest skate shop.
I don't know if I can do another skate shop, man. I just can't do that again. It's such stress, and now it's just different now. It's skateboarding world is so different now, and especially retail is so different. So difficult to do because it's after COVID, everything's just to the shit.
Right, I feel that. My niece she's 16, she's tapped into, like, the skating world, so I get to, like, live through it through her, so
Oh, really? What would she tell you?
Uh, she like I don't know, that's just, like, her world, like, that's her, like, little escape. She's always at the skate parks, I mean, I feel like it definitely is different. It was much more, like, of a community back in the day,
Mhm.
so
No, definitely was. And so back to your business. So tell us a little about like I'm trying to curious what you do. Like what you said permanent makeup and what else?
so my main thing has been eyelash extensions for a while, and then I just got into permanent makeup. I just actually finished my course this week, so getting my tattoo license and going in that world. Eventually, I'm gonna actually do like delicate tattoos, like beyond just like the makeup aspect. But
Okay.
besides that, I am, yeah, tapping into the OnlyFans. It's something I've wanted to do for like years. I was just kind of hesitant and
Hold on, rewind that. OnlyFans? What are you doing on OnlyFans? Tell me about this.
well, one way to find out what I'm doing on there.
So one day you're like, hey, you know what? I want to do OnlyFans.
Honestly, yeah. I feel like it really blew up during 2020 when, like, people had a lot of time on their hands and people weren't working, and so I actually created my account, but I just, like, wasn't ready to full send it, and then something about turning 30, they say, like, when you turn 30, you just, like, don't give a fuck what people think, and I swear it was, like, a switch flipped, and I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go for it." And it's been like a fun creative outlet, and I mean, so far so good. I'm just in my 2nd month really, like, going for it, and yeah, it's been interesting, it's been lucrative, and I'm excited to see where that goes.
So OnlyFans, so is it like do you like like show your feed or do you like show your makeup? I mean, like what you do for business, or is it more on the sexual side, like sexy pictures and stuff like that, or what?
I'll just say it's content that's a little bit too spicy for Instagram.
Oh, look at you over here. You hear that, people? A little
Thank you. A
spicy.
little too spicy for the IG, and I do take special requests, so
Really?
yep, so the link is in the bio, and I decided that since I figured we'd do some subtle plugs, I am running a promotion right now for 75% off, so it's just 11.11 right now to subscribe, so come join the fun.
There you go. You hear that, guys? She got a good deal for you guys. So make sure. And where can they find you on OnlyFans?
Link is in the bio on my IG, which is Backbone, but the O is a 0. So,
Okay. And how'd you come up with the name Backbone? What's the name behind that?
I wish I had this, like, super intricate story for you, but pretty much my homegirl, Kaylee, and I, we were roommates. She's, like, my first, like, roommate back in the day. This is when IG first was made over a decade ago, and she decided she was gonna be Featherbone and I was gonna be Backbone, and it just kinda, like, stuck and never changed that.
I like that. I mean, Backbone to me is like it's like a whole different world. So you got the Rachel Alexandra, the
Mhm.
mom, the businesswoman, and then a nighttime comes. It's like Batman. It's like Batman. You know what I mean? You got your whatever his name. I can't remember his name. The original guy. And all of a sudden he's Batman. So you're like backbone. You know what I mean? You come out and you're like, boom, what's up? I got OnlyFans. Look at my wig. Look at this. Yo, this
Little
is who
alter
I am.
ego.
You what?
Little alter ego.
Exactly. Do you feel that way when you do OnlyFans or when do you feel like that's your alter ego?
Yeah, I mean, I call her Stormy.
Oh,
But I
you call it Stormy? What? Tell me
like,
about this.
like, say when I have, like, a little bit too much tequila and, like, I'm just being extra spicy, I call her Stormy.
Oh, okay, okay, I like that.
So, you gotta keep it interesting. Gotta
And
have
and and do you get creepos on there? Like, what do you do with the creepos on there? Do you keep it going with the creeps, or do you kinda like, "You're outta here"?
honestly, it's, so, okay, the whole reason I really decided to full send it was I posted this anonymous, like, ask me any question on Instagram. I forget, like, what the app is called, but you can link it to your Instagram, ask me anything anonymously. So I did that a couple months ago, and at least like 5 people were like, "When are you gonna start OnlyFans? Where's the link in the bio? Where's your OF?" Like, so I was like, "Damn, okay, people are like ready for this." So I was like, "You know what? Let me give the people what they want. Let's see how this goes." So literally that day that I got all those questions, I just went on there and decided to go for it. And so as of now, I've really only promoted it on my IG. So it's like those people have been following me, so they've been pretty chill. But I have a feeling once I blast it on other platforms, I might come along some creeps, and I'll just take it as they come and try to navigate that.
Have you got anybody like asking for foot? Like, have you got any foot fetish people?
I have. I'm actually trying to find more of those because
Really? Like that?
that is, yeah, that's like such an interesting world to me. Like I'm so intrigued by like different fetishes. Like I know there's a fetish world out there that are into like just watching you eat food and like do things with food, like things that don't even seem like that sexual, yet people are into it. So I'm like, send them over.
So you hear that?
Let's go.
You you fetish people out there, go find her on OF, you know? She will eat a fucking burrito for you and suck down those french fries and to make you eyes pop out.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I love to eat, so it'll be a win-win.
That's crazy. So has anybody asked you anything crazy to do with your feet? Like, "Hey, put some dog shit on your feet, toes," or something, or have they done anything crazy?
Not crazy yet. I had to like do some research because someone asked me to do a high heel dangle. I'm like, what the hell is that?
What the hell's that?
It's literally where like you have a like high heel on and then you're kind of just like just kind of like moving it around, just kind of like literally just like dangling it like on your foot. Like it's so I'm like, how like at what point did you realize you're like, damn, like that's hot? So it was like the easiest money I've made yet.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. So basically all it is like it's like a woman has her feet crossed and she just has her high heels halfway off her foot and this
Exactly.
how's that turn somebody on?
I don't know. I'm like, damn, were you just like out one day? Were you in a meeting? Something like
Like you saw some Gucci woman walking down the street or something, you're like, "Damn, dude, that's fucking hot." Her heel's halfway off, dude. I'm fucking turned on. I'm gonna go take a cold shower real quick, you know?
seriously, it's like so interesting. Like just the psychology behind like those fetishes. But I'm like, you know what? Might as well monetize on them.
So in a way, you're kind of like a psychiatrist. Kind of way. I don't want to say you are, but in a way, you're kind of like a psychiatrist because you're actually like testing the waters and seeing different people and their reactions and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Like I feel like it's gonna be a cool experience, like on that level for sure.
Oh, definitely is. And have you like had any other crazy ones? Like, hey, go do something crazy or something.
Not yet. I'm trying to think if there's been it's still pretty new, so I feel like I said, once I start pushing it out on, like, say, on TikTok and Twitter and Reddit, like, I'm gonna end up getting, like, all sorts of different people.
Yeah, you are, man. You definitely are, and hopefully you probably get some people from this. You know, I mean that's just crazy to think, man. Like not you, but I mean just to think that. Do you make good money doing that?
I mean, it's taken off in the first month. I mean, yeah, I made over a few thousand just, like, from
Wow,
my bedroom and just barely even, like, dipping my toes in it. No
wow.
pun intended.
I remember this story. I don't know if you remember this, but that story about that mom that was a school teacher, and she started OnlyFans thing, you know, and like doing sexy pictures and stuff like that. And then I guess one of the kids' parents found out, and they got her expelled or something. But she makes a shitload of money
I
just doing
bet.
that.
There's so much money to be made out there, so, like, might as well get mine.
Has anybody sent you gifts and flew you out places and stuff yet, or what?
I mean, I've had offers. I'm, like, just still trying to, like, navigate carefully. Like I wouldn't like fly out to see like just some like OnlyFans fan, like unless I somehow got to know them
Yeah.
off of there first. But yeah, I'm being cautious with it. I know there's some crazies out there.
Because I know a girl that did it, and I can't remember her name, but she was a good friend of mine. She did OnlyFans, and she was telling me like some guy flew her out there just to take pictures of her feet, and then paid a shitload of money and flew her back. And I think she lived in St. Pete, and flew her back to St. Pete.
That's wild. See, I just like I don't know. I'm like I could take the pictures myself, but
But she said that he offered a lot of money, like at least like 20 grand. Like, hey, I'll fly you out, pay you 20 grand. All I want you to do is take pictures of your feet. I want to take pictures of your feet, dress them up in like different. That's what it was. He dressed them up in like little like figurines. She was telling me it was like very weird. At first she was cautious, but then she decided to do it. And she said that he dressed her toes and stuff up in like little like costumes and shit and took pictures of it. I'm like, are you fucking
that is
serious?
so wild. Yeah, it's honestly, I'm just intrigued. Like, it doesn't even creep me out. I'm just like, how? Like, how did you get to that point?
Right? Like, I mean, to me, it's like, I mean, feet are feet. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I'm with a woman, I'll suck on her toes or something, because I might sometimes that turns on a woman, but
Uh-huh.
but that's about it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, oh shit, hey, can you put some makeup on that and let me dress it up a little bit and put some fake high heels on that? No, I'll be like, hell no.
Yeah, that's next level. I mean, honestly, I was kind of like introduced to that world like pretty young. I think it was like my 14. I was like
Hold on,
14.
hold on. You were introduced to that world? Tell me about
Okay.
this.
So when I was 14, I had this boyfriend who like was into not in like he didn't even like talk about it much, but he did like talk about wanting like a foot job. And I'm like, really? I'm like,
A foot job.
yeah. I'm like, is that a thing? Like it was totally new to me.
You're like, "Well, okay, let me just put my feet on your penis and let's just get it going."
I'm like, I have other methods that I think will do just fine, but that's what he was into. So
And he liked it?
I guess so.
Damn, okay. Alright.
You know, it's been out there and like I'll go on like TikTok live and like say I'm like laying on my bed, like just on my stomach and I have like my feet behind me in the air. People are like what color are your toes painted? Like let me see those feet. I'm like, wow.
And in a way, that's kinda what you made, like, "You know what? I'm gonna do OnlyFans. If people are gonna ask that, then I'm gonna do my OnlyFans page." Is that what kinda inspired you to do that?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a part of it too. I'm like, there's a whole world of people out there ready to pay for these feet. I'm like, let's go.
I'm kinda curious to see how nice your feet are. I'm like, "Holy shit, what the fuck's going on, dude?" Damn. Nah, but no, it's true. There was this one dude, I'm not mentioning his name, but he knows who he is. My second ex, and my second ex used to tell me all the time. And whenever Tampa Pro come, they would come out, and she always tell me afterwards, like, yo, homie keeps on asking me to come to his hotel because he wants to take pictures of my feet and thinks I have beautiful feet. And I'm looking at her like, why don't you fucking tell me this, dude? I would have told the dude to shut the fuck up. My wife, let me take pictures of her feet.
Really.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's definitely that's just a creep. I don't know. I don't want to say creepy. I think the most creepiest thing what someone told me once is like he said this one chick told him to shit and piss on her, and I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Damn.
I was like,
That's
hell no.
that's sick.
That is disgusting, right? And my homie told me that. He'd say he looked at her and said, hell no.
It's crazy. Like, I really just don't understand how you get to that point.
Right? Like how you get off of like somebody's shit on you know what I mean?
For real.
But there's some crazy shit out there. I will admit that. There is some I know we're way off the topic, but there is some crazy shit out there. Like,
No doubt.
like before we change that, one thing I don't get is the whole gimp suit. Like, how are you gonna wear a gimp suit, and how does that turn on a person wearing a gimp suit? You
Wait,
know what I mean?
what is that? What's a gimp suit?
Huh?
What's that? What is a
Oh, you
gimp suit?
oh, you don't know what a gimp suit is?
I don't think so. I've heard of, like, furries and, like
No, it's basically a full black suit. So if you're in domination stuff,
yeah,
it's part of that whole domination stuff. I don't know if you ever seen Pulp Fiction. Have you seen the movie Pulp Fiction?
I have, yes.
Okay, remember the scene where the guy comes out and has a chain and is wearing a full suit towards the very end? It's all
Yeah,
black.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the gimp suit.
Okay. Yeah,
So
the dominatrix world is, like, a whole other
yeah, yeah, yeah.
empire, which, like, I know some girls that are in it. They've actually, like, wanted me to, like, come join that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm just like, "Damn, I'd really have to tap into, like, because I feel like I'm, like I can be, like, fiery, but I'm, like, so sweet, so, like, I would have to, like, full on, like, go into acting mode, like
You're like this. Look, man. Look, I'm very sweet, kind. I li I like to cuddle afterwards. I like to be romanced and taken care of, but I am fire. But to that point, I gotta put my acting mood on, you know?
For real.
I gotta pretend
My
I'm like somebody famous over here, you know?
like, put my leather on and get to it.
That domination shit's crazy, dude. I can't I I don't see if I ever been with anybody with domination. Yes, there's one chick, and I always have to say St. Pete. I don't know why. It's just St.
Mhm.
Pete. It's just St. Pete has a whole different breed of women and guys over there, you know? And it's a good thing. I'm not saying a
For
bad thing, but
sure, no.
no, it's definitely my I think my fun time was a lot in St. Pete, and I have to agree with you on that. But yeah, she was into that biting and fucking I think she like really biting shit. And I was like, "Yo, girl, you gotta chill on the bite, man. Like, I'm not into that, dude. Like, you can nibble on me, you can little scratches on me, you
Right,
know,
a
little
little nibble in the ear, but full
yeah.
on fighting, like,
No, this chick fucking bit my lip, took half of my mustache, my beard,
stop.
and I had a fat lip, a fat bloody lip because of that, dude. And I was like, "Yo, you gotta go."
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, I was like, "Yo, that's too much,
That's
man."
aggressive, like, who hurt you?
Right? I mean, come on, man. Like, if you're into that, that's cool, but you gotta like put a like a little give somebody a card and say, "Hey, I'm into this kind of shit."
Right, have them sign a waiver or something.
Exactly. Oh, waiver, yes. I think I'm gonna do that, dude. I'm gonna have a waiver. It's like, this is what I'm into.
For
You
real.
gotta sign it before we hook up, you know? Dude, there we go. We could start an app, a
Hey,
waiver app, sex waiver app.
yeah, right?
Dude, oh, someone's
Right
gonna
to it.
see. We're talking about someone's gonna start it up. You know
I
that, right?
know.
But
Careful.
so 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 you basically moved to Florida, got expecting it to be just a vacation, and then all of a sudden you met the dude.
Yeah, so working at Cassis, to circle back, I was, like, hostess there, he was bartending there, and, we had mutual friends, we kind of knew who each other, like, were just from, like, all these mutual friends, and decided to, like, go out for a drink after work one night. Well, I, like, sat at the bar, like, after my shift, and he's like, "We should go to the Hard Rock." Ended up doing that, and the rest is history. We ended up having 2 kids, and I was like, "Alright, well, now I'm staying here because I don't wanna take my kids away from their family," and that's when the city really started to, like, blow up, and I was like, "Alright, I can see myself staying here."
That's
So,
that's a good mom, dude.
thanks.
That's a good mom. I mean, most parents would be like, "I'm out of here," like you're coming with me, kids. We're gonna fly them back and forth or whatever or something.
Right. No, like, family's everything, and, like, I have a pretty big family, and it really does take, like, a tribe, so,
Yeah, and
like
let me ask you. So, what you said, big family? Are you Italian or what?
I'm Italian and Israeli.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jewish or
Yeah.
Olaheim? I'm Jewish myself.
Okay, I was gonna ask you. What
I'm
you
Jewish myself. Okay.
okay.
All
Good.
right. Now I'm gonna look at the picture and be like, okay, I do see the Jewish in her. Okay. I saw more Italian. I saw more Italian, you know?
Yeah, people guess Italian, no one ever guesses Jewish. People
Wow.
like, when I lived in LA, people always tried speaking Spanish to me.
They'll be like, hey, ¿cómo está? Bien. Hey, señorita, what's up?
Yeah,
Well, that's crazy. So you're Italian Jew. That's awesome.
that's me.
So what was it like growing up as an Italian Jew?
So there was a point where I got to celebrate both Christmas and Hanukkah. That was lit. But I was born and raised a Christian. I never
Like
went,
Hebrew.
yeah, I didn't go into like all that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was fun. Like my dad's side was mostly like my mom actually has a little bit in her too, but which I didn't know until I did like that DNA testing and it said I was like 66%. So I was like, damn, mom has some too. But
Damn.
yeah, so that was fun being able to like just celebrate both. But yeah, just Christmas now.
Okay. So you're an Italian Jew princess, huh?
Yes, I'll take it.
You're just like, I'll take that. Dude, that's rad, dude. And so was the family dinners and all that stuff really big? Like, Christmas time was like what, 100 people there or what?
No, it wasn't quite like that extravagant. I mean, like when I would go to my cousins' like bat mitzvahs or bar mitzvahs, those were definitely like bigger, but just like Christmas and everything. I have like a lot of grandparents, aunts, uncles, like cousins, but probably more like 20, 30 people.
Oh shit. That's a big dinner.
Right.
I mean, there's nobody leaving that house hungry.
For
That's
sure.
awesome. Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, that understands why you're really big on family because you're raised on family, and having big family in your life and being around family, that's very smart of you to stay around your ex and then make sure the kids know their dad and stuff like that. So that's pretty rad.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm happy here. And like I said, the city is just like blown up. Like when I moved to LA, I was like, get me out of here. Like, I mean, I loved it for what it was, but I was ready for like big city feels. But now the city has like come up so much that it like downtown's always popping, even on a Monday these days. So it's like it's been cool to watch it grow and they grow with it.
And what's your favorite place to go out?
That depends on the vibe. If I just honestly, if I just want like a good like cocktail, I'd say like Mandarin Hide,
Oh,
Copper Share.
I love Mandarin High.
Yeah, they make the best espresso martinis. For dinner, Wild Child is my spot.
Wild Child, tell me about that.
So Matt, the owner of the Benz, and then the previous chef of Noble Cross came together and made Wild Child, and it is like honestly, every dish is like a work of art, so colorful, vibrant, and they have like seasonal menus and it's like globally inspired, so they have a little bit of everything and like super fresh cocktails and just like a super vibey, cute spot.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's
Okay.
the dinner go-to for sure.
Yeah, I know Matt. I know Matt for a long time.
Okay.
Because he used to skate back. Well, he still does, but he was a skater back in the big time skated before he moved off to New York. I think it was New York he moved to, and then he came back and opened up Ben's and stuff.
Oh, yeah, Ben's is still a spot. I'll sometimes find myself there for like last call.
They already know you already. Oh, here comes Rachel. She's already inside.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah,
that's
there's so many new places now, I can't even keep up with it. Just like I'll be driving down Central and there's like several new places. So yeah, it's not stopping.
I know. I see people posting it. My boy, I don't know if you know him, Zach McCurdy. He lives out there, and he's basically from St. Pete, and he was part of the shop and stuff like that. And he's actually flying out here to hang out with me, and I live in Pacific Beach, so he's flying out here to live or stay with me for a week in Pacific Beach. So, oh, and I thought about you the other day. I went to Crush's down on
Hey, love Crush.
Yep, I thought about you the other day. I was like, "Oh, yeah, I should send her a picture of this."
Yes, whenever I make it back out there, that's a staple for sure.
Yeah, so he's coming out to visit, but, yeah, he's always posting stuff of, like, St. Pete and how much it's grown and how different it is and stuff.
Yeah, it's wild, honestly.
And so when you go out, like, this is a question I was kinda curious is when you go out, I mean, you're a very beautiful, attractive woman, and you get all these different dudes come up to you. Do you
Mhm.
do you like it, or do you kinda, like, like, feel like, "Yo, man, I just wanna hang out by myself, hang out with my girls, like, you don't need to fucking hit on me." I mean, what's your feeling on that?
Honestly, it depends on, like, my mood and whatever type of guy is coming up to me, like, for instance, last Sunday no, 2 Sundays ago, the Sunday before Mother's Day, I went to PCI on the beach, which I hadn't been there in forever.
Oh, shit, that was my stomping ground.
Yeah, and it honestly it just got to be comical, like, my one of my friends was like, "I'm gonna just start counting, like, how many times people come up to you." It was, like, every, like, 5 minutes, someone was coming up, and we were just, like, fucking with them, like, I was pretty, like, day drunk, so it's just, like, funny, but then it gets to a point where I'm like, "Yo," like, there's a good DJ, and I just wanna, like, shake my ass and, like, just do my thing, but I'm like, "Damn, I feel like I can't even, like, do that without just people, like, I don't know, like, hawking on me," so I don't know, it definitely depends. Sometimes it's flattering, like, obviously, if, like, cute guys are coming up to me, like, being sweet, I'm like, "Okay," but there are times where I'm like, "Damn, can I just, like, chill for a minute?" So, yeah, it depends for sure.
And I mean, what's the most? So you say, like, cute guys, like, what's your type of guy?
Honestly, I don't even think I have a type. I've dated everything from every, like, different type of guy from fully tatted to no tattoos. I've dated, like, buff dudes, I've dated skinny dudes, tall, short, so it's honestly just, like, a vibe and, like, an aesthetic or yeah, like, a connection. I don't have, like, this one type of, like, look that I go for.
Okay, and do you mostly track more 5s or 10s?
What you mean?
Okay, so what I mean with that is okay, so you got 1, 5, and 10. Most you only do 5 and 10s, okay? 1 is basically like he's not your type. He's okay. He's not your type, but he's nice, okay?
Uh-huh.
Then you got 5, where 5 is where he's cute, but he's funny and we connect, right? And
Uh-huh.
then you got 10 where dude's fucking drop or person's so dropped dead gorgeous and fucking amazing, but he's a fucking peanut. No brains. Just fucking shut up and just have sex with me and don't open your mouth. You never heard that?
No, I've
Well,
never heard of that, but I'm like, "Damn, I see it."
so now you see, now you're gonna use that. It's okay, well, okay, do I have 5s or 10s or 1? Not many people have many 1s. There's very few that do
Yeah.
1s. There's 5s. A lot of people have 5s and 10s, you know?
Yeah, so you mean, like, like, what do I have as far as people that just, like, approach me or, like
Or what's more attracted to you, more 5 or 10 or 1, you know?
damn. Is
I
there,
got
like
you on that one. I got you on that one.
I'm like, is there something in between?
Well, 5 is basically like in between, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's cute, but also too you guys connect and you have that conversation,
I mean,
and
I'm all about connection, so, I mean, you can be, like, the most, like, like, dead guy in the room according to, like, society, but, like, if you're there and you're making me laugh and I think you're cute, like, that's gonna surpass
so you're
for
more
s
into 5 then.
I'd say so.
Okay, okay. So you hear that, guys out there. So if you see her in St. Pete, try to be a 5, not a 10.
For sure.
But now me, I'm more, like, I mean, me, I'm more like 5. I have 10s are very hard to find who you have connections with, you know? And it's just I mean, everybody what says they want a 5. A lot of people want to have a 10, but also too, they really deep down, they really want a 5, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, you gotta connect, like, if we can't have, like, a good conversation and if you're funny, that's just a bonus for sure,
Oh, definitely. Funny and making somebody laugh is like the best thing, you know?
honestly.
And you're a very healthy person. I see you, you're always drinking, you're always about taking care of yourself, your soul, mind, and everything. What keeps you going of doing that?
Honestly, it's all about the balance for me. I have found that I am not happy if I'm just out there, like, binge drinking, like, whatever, like, not taking care of myself, but I'm also not happy if I'm, like, being too, like, hard on myself, like, if I'm, like, restricting, if I'm just, like, I'll do, like, a cleanse here and there, just, like, a little reset, but for me, like, I find happiness in the balance, so, like, I'll go to the gym, do my, like, hot yoga, like, I'll drink my greens and try to get good sleep and do all the things, but I also love to have a good time, so, yeah, it's really just about the balance, finding that sweet spot, and yeah, it just feels good.
And do you feel like, to keep the way you are, mindset, body, and health, or they're all the same, but and to go out, like, do you have a technique or something that you do to keep everything together?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely isn't always perfect, and I'm not hard on myself, like, when I do, but just, like, as long as you're, like, eating well and, like, say I'll try to, like, hit the gym and, like, stay hydrated and, like, do all the things, so then if I, like, go out and I wanna have my tequila, honestly, the key is hydration. It's the nights that I can, like, take a tequila shot and chug a water, then I'm, like, good to go, and just kind of, like, picking back up the next day, like, yeah, when you're hungover, you wanna, like, eat some good food, and I do let myself indulge, like, I think life is too short to restrict yourself, so but yeah, just, like, getting back to it, go to the sauna, sweat that shit out, and then keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and you say indulge, so what kind of food do you indulge?
Honestly, whatever sounds good. I mean, I've tried, like, being vegan and then, like, pescatarian, but now I just call it, like, intuitive eating, so it's just whatever sounds good. So, I mean, I'll be eating smoothies and salads and whatever, but then I'll, like, get down on some, like, whatever it is,
Fish tacos
honestly.
or corn
Some
asada tacos and stuff like that.
yeah, burger and fries, if I want some ice cream, like, whatever that sounds good, I just allow myself to enjoy that and then balance it out.
Dude, that's pretty cool, and you read books too, right?
I do.
What's your, favorite type of, books you like to read?
I'm honestly all about, like, the self-help book, so it's, like, the whole, like, "You're a badass" line is, like, the original "You're a badass" is "You're a badass at making money," like, the OG, like, kind of enlightenment books, like The Four Agreements and The Alchemist, those are, like, I always recommend to people, like, just starting that journey, of just wanting to, like, better themselves and their mindset. Yeah, those are definitely, like, top ones, but every once I'm not really big into, like, fiction, but there was this one called When Life Hands You Lululemons,
Mhm.
and that one was honestly so dope. It was the same writer as The Devil Wears Prada, and that one
Oh,
had me, like, locked in
locked in, huh? You're in, like, binge reading, right?
for sure. I was, like, legit sad when it ended. I was like, "Damn, what what am I gonna do now?"
Your kids are coming in and like, "Mom, we gotta go." "No, no, 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 I'm reading real quick." Go do something active."
Yeah, right. Yeah, reading is amazing, honestly. Honestly, becoming a mom, like, helped me get back into reading because I try to read to them every night.
Okay, that's awesome. So what do you read to them?
Of course, the classic, like, Dr. Seuss books, they're, like, huge into that. They're really big into, like, rhyming right now, and I was like, "You know, Dr. Seuss is, like, the OG, like, rhymer," and my son is like, I'm gonna be the next best one." I'm like, "Alright, bet."
That's right, dude.
Right? So What
That's
about
right.
you? Are you reading anything?
I got some books over here, but I'm more of a movie guy, you know?
Yeah. What's your, like, genre of movies?
My genre of movies? Oh my gosh, man, like, I'm a big comic book nerd, you know?
Okay.
So I don't fuck with DC, sorry, you
Mhm.
DC fans out there. I'm more into Marvel.
Okay.
I'm more into Marvel and stuff like that. I've always been into Marvel. I like Marvel just because it's more. I mean, yeah, DC can be like scientifically and blah blah blah. I think more Marvel's more about life, talks about life, and it's
For
more.
sure.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I just like that. But also too, I mean, I like other movies too. I mean, I watch chick flicks movies, stuff like that. I get literally teary eyes sometimes.
Can't go wrong
Oh,
with a good chick flick.
huh?
Can't go wrong with a good chick flick.
Oh no, dude. What was the one I watched? It was what was it? Oh, I can't remember who was in it. It was like, how to what was it 100 Ways to Win a Woman or something like that? I can't remember what it was. But it was like a comedy chick flick. That's what I'm into, the comedy chick flick
Yeah,
version.
little rom-coms.
Yeah, with old Ryan Reynolds movies and
Yes, for sure.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I just into movies just because it's like to me, I look at movies as a way to get me away from like how you read a book, like it takes you away from reality and puts you into a fantasy world.
Yeah, it's a little mind vacation.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly. And that's what I look at in movies. So when I go to bed, I'll just put on Netflix and I'll pass out and my TV I have my TV set, it turns off whenever I fall asleep. So
Wait, how does it know when you fall asleep?
I have no idea because when I wake up, the TV's off. So somehow it knows I'm asleep and I live by myself. So my fish Henry is not the one popping to turn the TV off somehow. I wake
Hen
up and it turns off and I'm like, oh, how did TV turn
Okay.
off? I'm like, whatever, dude. Hey, TV knows when I'm asleep. I guess it's that advanced.
You're
Thank you,
right.
Apple.
I mean, 2023.
So, hey, exactly. But no, I like to read books. Let's see. There's a book over here. Sorry, I had to go get it. It's actually it's this pro skater named Walker Ryan wrote. Topham Mason,
Okay.
and it just talks about skateboarding and living and there's a bunch of stuff. So I mean, I started reading that, and it's actually a really good book. So I mean, I have a bunch of books over here that I collect. I collect a lot of like books and I collect a lot of records and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not like a hoarder or anything, but I mean, I have my little things I like. You know,
Yeah.
like if I go to like a concert or something, I'll and they have like and I like the band or the music hip hop artist or whatever. Like I'm going to see Jizza next week, so I know he's going to sell like records and stuff. I'll go buy a record and get him autograph signed and keep it. That's
No,
why that's what I do.
yeah, normal for that.
So that way I can have it and I can frame it and put it up on my walls or whatever.
Love it.
So yeah, so that's what I do. I mean, books. I love books. I when I was young, I used to read Dr. Seuss books and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
no, it's pretty cool. But that's rad that you read to your kids and also too. I mean, you're reading some very like good books because I mean you're a successful woman. You know what I mean? Like you have done a lot in your life.
Yeah, just getting started.
Getting started.
Just getting started.
Oh, I figure you've been starting.
No, for sure, but I feel like there's so much more to accomplish and do.
Like what?
Just continue to grow the businesses I have, just keep elevating them and eventually have people working for me.
Okay. And do you and a couple more questions before we take off is one of the questions is did you feel like it was tough for you during COVID or did you succeed in COVID?
So I actually ended up opening a little home studio during COVID. So my clients were super loyal. Their lashes are still important to them, even though when the world was shut down, they're like, yo, I still have Zoom meetings I gotta look good for. So yeah, I ended up setting up a little home studio and just continued through. So I was super grateful for.
Good. And did you lose a lot of patients or did you gain more patients?
It ebbs and flows, but overall it stayed pretty steady.
And I mean, it's amazing what you do, you know, I mean, because it takes a lot of skills and technique. A lot of people don't realize that, because I mean, what you're doing, you're basically extending people's eyelashes, correct?
Yes.
And that's pretty. I mean, I can't do that, dude. I mean, that's
Yeah, they say you have to have the hands of a surgeon, the eyes of an artist, the patience of a saint, and the ears of a therapist. Because those clients be spilling the tea when they're on my table.
yeah. I mean, and guys, this is not going to the Kmart and buying fake eyelashes. This is real shit right here.
Yeah, it's pretty intricate.
And now you're doing basically, permanent makeup. I mean, tell me about that. I'm very interested. I mean, I'm not gonna put it on me, but I'm interested in that.
Yeah, so I'm starting with, the lip blush, so it's pretty much you're tattooing the lips into, like, a pretty shade. There's so many different shades they can do. So it's kind of like essentially it's not like full-blown lipstick look, it's just like a pretty tint, a pretty blush. So I'm starting with that, and then I'll probably do the brows, that's really big right now, the ombre brows, and then, yeah, once I get comfortable with that, I'm going to do, like, actual tattooing, guys and girls, just, like, smaller tattoos. I don't think I'll ever do, like, the huge, like, pieces, but, like, the baby tats are trending right now, so I'm gonna
Baby tats.
yeah, just, like, the smaller, like, sticker tattoos, they call
Hmm,
them.
okay.
So,
So you're
yeah,
gonna be a professional tattoo artist. That's
I
smart.
am, that's the
Look at
goal.
look at you, man. You are like you're gonna have a whole like a whole enterprise basically.
Yeah, it's called, Saturn Beauty Co. Eventually, I want, like, a dope spot. Right now, I'm just out of a med spa, so I have a room inside of a med spa, which is really cool. But eventually, just have, like, a whole spot where it's like a one-stop shop. You can get it all.
Yeah, that's smart, and especially and are you gonna have a lot of clientels for that?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so? Is people starting to get into that, you see, or what?
Definitely, the permanent makeup is taking off.
Damn, that's pretty crazy, dude. Like, I know someone was telling me about that, and I was like, "What? Permanent makeup?"
Right? So, you get your lashes done, some permanent makeup, you can just wake up ready to go.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about. You can take a shower and don't worry about your makeup getting taken off.
Right?
You know, there goes the makeup companies. They're done. And and a couple more questions. So, what is the kind of funny one? And what is the most ridiculous pickup line that you ever heard?
Damn, that's a good one. I feel like honestly, when I was on TikTok Live, I was getting a bunch, and I could not tell you. I just will laugh and forget about it. Um,
We'll just say that you're at a club. Okay, we'll just put you at a club. You're like, or at a restaurant or whatever with your girls, and you guys are having a good time, and you're just dancing, and this kooky dude comes over and just says the corniest, funniest pickup line that you just look at him and start laughing your ass off. Do you have ever had that kind of situation?
I feel like I definitely have.
Definitely.
Honestly, I can't think of any of them right off the top of my head.
You know it's gonna come to you. You know it's gonna come to you after we get off of this.
Okay, wait, actually, I thought of one. Damn, okay, I was at a club, and this guy came up to me, and he said, "Are you Medusa?" I'm like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Are you Medusa?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "'Cause you're making me rock hard." I was like, "Damn." That I just had to laugh. I was like
Hold on, you can make it. Are you Medusa? Because you're making me rock hard, dude.
I
That's
was like I was my jaw dropped, and then I just started, like, laughing my ass off.
dude,
Just
that's fucking hilarious, dude. And has any of those pickup lines ever help out for them at all?
I'm pretty sure we ended up, like, having, like my group of girls ended up, like, having a drink with him, like, and, like, vibing for a little bit just 'cause he was funny. So I guess that's where the 5 comes in.
So he kind of broke the vibe. He kind of like went in there and like said the most corniest shit, and it was like, all right, dude, this guy's cool. He had to step in and say this shit to me.
For sure, but that doesn't always work, so
So you hear that, guys? Say some corny, but might work, might not work.
yeah, there's a chance, but
And last question, or actually one more question after this one. What is your day in a life like? With or without your kids?
so it does change when I have them, when I don't, but, normally, like, Mondays, like, for sure, I always like to just start off the week, like, hitting Trader Joe's, getting some good snacks for the casa, hitting leg day, just to, like, set the tone, sometimes even hot yoga. Um, so that's always my Monday, but from there, it kind of is all over the place between taking my clients, making my OF content, hitting the gym, balancing out my social life, and then also just time to, like, just reconnect with myself. I try to catch sunset, like, as often as I can and just kind of take that in. So, yeah, it's a balance of a little bit of everything, running the business, taking care of me and the babies, and adding in some fun in between all that.
Yeah, and no guys have come in and swooped you guys yet, right?
Nope. And
No.
I'm so happily single right now. It's cute, but
How long you been single?
it's hard to say. I was like I mean, I was just in like a very casual relationship like the beginning of this year, but we were keeping it like really lighthearted and yeah, I just figured I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna focus on me and my business and my babies for a little while and until the right one comes along.
Right? I mean, I've been single for straight 13 years, have not dated anybody, no casual relationships, nothing, dude.
Wow. Is that like mostly like by choice or just like
Oh no, I'm not crazy. I'm not that crazy. No, no, no. It's my choice. I just took 13 years of my life and decided, you know what, dude, like I need to focus on me and exactly what you said, like me personally, I have a box in front of me and I put that focus on that box and I try not to focus outside the box where all the nonsense and negative stuff is at. So I keep myself focused on what I need to be successful. So if I'm going to be successful, I want the people in my box to be successful too.
no, I feel that for sure. Like, it's honestly kind of scary, like how content I am being single. Like, and hey, if it's 13 years, then I'm here for it. I love just doing my thing. So it's gonna take someone really fucking cool to integrate into that.
So you hear that, guys? You better be the best guy in the world to win over Rachel, all right? AKA backbone,
Hey.
But now being single for, before we take off, I'm gonna say being single for so long to me is I do miss, I will say this, I do miss having a companion.
Yeah.
I do miss that. Like sometimes I'm like, damn, I wish I could go home and cuddle with my woman and hang out and this and that. But also too at the same time, when I go out and I'll go out to dinner by myself and I'll sit there and eat and hang out. I don't mind eating by myself, or going to movies by myself or, do things by myself. I don't mind. But when I see like couples together, when they're on their phones and they're not talking to each other, or when they get in fights and arguments, and then that's when I'm like, dude, I don't miss that. I don't want a woman like that in my life.
Right, for sure. There's
And
too
what was
many of
that?
them out there. Yeah, there's too many of them out there that just like seem unhappy. I'm like, you do realize like that's your choice. So definitely want it to be positive and fun and just all the yummy things if I'm gonna jump into that.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you get in a relationship or whatever, it's always not going to be roses and peaches all day. You know what I mean?
Right, for
It's
sure.
always you're always going to have the rough times and this and that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about working together. It's about being together.
Absolutely. And finding the one that's like worth putting in that work for.
Exactly. And like I talked to my friend about this, you know, it was a female and she's a good friend of mine. And we talked about this. And she asked me one day, she's like, you know, you've been single for a long time. And I said, yeah, you know, and she's like, if you ever decide to be with somebody, what are you looking for? And I told her, I said, honestly, I don't want a relationship. I said, I want a partnership. And she said, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, because, you know, everybody can have a relationship. You can have a relationship with your fish. You can have a relationship with your dog. It's just, to me, it's like just out there. Partnership to me is somebody that you and that person can grow together and be together. And you know, you can, you know, go home and be happy that you have a partnership. You have a, you know, that person can help you grow your business. And, you know, and like, you know, my thing is, you know, I told her, I said, you know, I'd rather have a woman have her own life. I have my own life. She has her friends and I have my friends and we meet in the middle. To me, that's a partnership. You know,
For sure.
it's not like, you know, being a, you know, oh, I'm gonna go sleep with 50 girls, but I'm gonna hang out with you too. It's not like that. You know, like you're gonna be my ride or die. I'm gonna be with you because you're my partner. You know,
For sure. And I think that's so important.
no, it is. You know, because I mean, relationships are just kind of like it's whatever. You know,
For sure.
but being single is a great thing. But they also too say a single man or woman is the worst thing out there because they know what they want out of life.
Mm-hmm. No settling.
Now you're thinking, you're like, damn, this guy's right. um,
For sure.
before we take off, what can you say to the upcoming women that want to be in your shoes, that want to be an entrepreneur, that want to start their own business, want to get into tattoo makeup, to want to be you, be like you know,
I
what
would
can you say to
say just fucking go for it. Like, just like quiet down the fear and like literally just take that leap of faith because I promise you the magic happens on the other side of that fear and outside of your comfort zone. So if it's something that like is keeping you up at night, if it's a reoccurring just like desire, whether that's the business move, if it's the travel, if it's the art project you want to do, just fucking do it. Buy the plane ticket, make the LLC, like build the website and just go for it. Cause anything that like you're dreaming of, like you can make that shit reality. So you just gotta coincide your dreams with reality and yeah, just go for it.
Hey, and you're 100% right. Just, you know what I call it? Fuck it.
Yes. You gotta have the fuck it mentality to really make it out there, honestly.
No, you definitely do. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining on me, and it was such a pleasure to have you. And one more thing, tell people where they can find you at again on Holy OnlyFans.
OnlyFans is going to be onlyfans.com/with love Alexandra, but you can find the link in my bio on IG, which is Backbone.
And then do you have and tell them about the deal that they're gonna get?
Yeah, so 75% off your first month. So it brings it down to just 11.11. So go join the fun.
And there you go, guys. Now you can go check her out. And if you can have her do some crazy foot fetish, maybe dress it up as like a little character or something like that. And maybe she can put some cheesecake on her foot or something. I don't know.
Yes, send me the special request. I'm here for it.
There you go. Maybe you want to watch her eat a burrito, you know? Who knows?
Hey,
All
that's
right, Rachel. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on the show.
thanks, Tommie.
You definitely, like I said before, a very inspiring woman, and I'm so proud of you what you have done in life.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, you take care of yourself.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, late.
All right, I'll see ya.